Hi everyone, or I should say hola, buenos dias. This is Fibretown in Spain. 1 year later, we are repeating the same shot. I'm Emily. If you haven't been to Fibretown before, I'm Chain of Fools on Ravelry, and I am Fibretown with an RE on Instagram and on my blog, which is fibretown.blogspot.com. You can find me on iTunes and YouTube and the blog and on the Ravelry group, which is Fiber Blank Space Town Podcast. Hi everyone. I finally figured out how to work this camera, hopefully. This is not my standard setup at all. I'm here on a mountainside. I have hiked up here with all of my stuff. Forgive me if I wear sunglasses. It's quite bright. I am in Pinilla de los Barruecos, which is a tiny town in the middle of nowhere, about, I don't know, 50 miles outside of Burgos in Spain. There goes Butterfly. And there are swallows swooping around this mountain. If they come close enough, you can hear the susurration of their wings, which is a lovely sound. I'm surrounded by pinks, which are a kind of carnation. They grow wild here on the hillside. They are wide open right now. It's about 11 in the morning, and they close up towards the end of the day. And what else is here? A lot of wild roses, a lot of rocks. Let me see if I can pan around and sort of show you, and then make sure that this comes back to the right spot, just so you get a feel for where I'm sitting. And I'm sitting in the very same spot that I was last year. So let me turn this around so I can see what I'm actually showing you. Yes, okay. So those are the rocks behind me. And here's the valley. Those are the pinks. Here's my backpack in which I carted everything up the hill. And yeah, that's the valley. There's the fronton, which is a sports, I don't know, a sports place. In the north of Spain, they play a lot of a game called pelota. And yeah, it's like with a ball. That's all I know about it. And that is a pasture out there. A lot of cows usually are out there. I hiked out to that rock, that formation that sort of stands alone. It was quite a trip to get there. It doesn't look that far away, but the valleys are full of ravines. And yeah, I'm gonna stand up so I can show you my house. This is the Casa Chanin, right down there. And yeah, that far window on the right, that's our bedroom. So we have been climbing all the way up here. And yeah, on the other side of those rocks, my laundry is hanging up to dry. And it's just a really lovely place. I don't know if you can see the swallows. They're called golondrinas in Spanish. So let's sit back down on the backpack and let's talk fiber. Let's talk knitting. Let me adjust you. I hope you enjoyed that little view. Okay. Okay, can you see me? I feel like I'm tilted. Okay, technical difficulties could very well abound today. Okay, so we've been here a week today. I've gotten a lot of knitting done, so let me show you my FOs. I have 0 show notes today. I think this is episode 114, 13, 15, somewhere in there. And if you introduced yourself on the Ravelry group, thank you. I don't have your name right now, but I will make sure to give you a shout out when I get back to the States. Somewhere in the second week of July. You should see me again then. So I finished a pair of socks for my mother-in-law, who is here. Who's traveled 3 hours from her village with her husband, my father-in-law, to spend a week here with us, and she loves them. She's cold. She's very cold all the time, even though it's gorgeous weather. She's sick and having some chemotherapy, so I think the socks were a good thing. So what else have I made? I made 3 barn raising squares, and if you know me, you know that For some strange reason, my brain has trouble with these. But I've made actual squares. And I think I'm up to about 14 or 15. Excuse me. So this is a square out of the yarn I used for my mother-in-law's socks. This is a Regia Kristen Nicholas colorway. And it's just lovely, very springy kind of colorway. So I have that one, and then I did one out of Miss Babs Yummy. And this is in the Joan of Arc colorway. It's just got luscious colors. I hope you guys can see that. Very beautiful colors. 2 squares. And a 3rd square in 1 week. This is Soft Kitty, which is a Fibronymph Dyeworks base. I love this base. It knits up denser for me, which I really like for socks. It's the bounce base, I think. And I had a pair of monkey socks knit out of this colorway. Yeah, so those are my 3 barn raising quilt squares. So what does that make it, like a quarter of the way done, perhaps? 15-ish squares. So is this it for my FOs? I believe it is. I have several whips. Let me show you. I'm just going to be digging through my project bags. It's going to be a different kind of show. All right, works in progress. In this bag I have my Pebble Beach, along with, oh look, a bar of chocolate. I like really dark chocolate. Okay, this is, now on the plane I have to say I had no problem with any needles. I brought, what did I bring? Sock rockets, super sharp, long cord for magic looping. Nobody blinked an eye. I brought, did I bring double points? I don't think I brought my carbons, but there was no issue at all. Now going back to the States is where there will be an issue. I have had needles confiscated coming west before, from Europe to the States. Okay, so my Pebble Beach had a little haircut. I have ripped out quite a bit. This is hand spun from, let's see, it's Polworth, and it's from Unwind Yarn Company. I think it was the Aurora Borealis colorway. I got 600-ish yards out of 4 ounces. I spun this maybe 2 years ago, I think. And this is the Pebble Beach by Helen Stewart. It's a lovely pattern. Sorry, I'm doing a couple languages at once and sort of hard to find words sometimes. So this has been ripped out a bit because my yarn is much thinner. It's a very light fingering weight, and I ripped it back to where the eyelets are sort of offset because I had them, I had started the part of the chart where the eyelets are in line, and it makes for a very different look, and I wanted more of this. And I know Helen has different sizes now. I haven't bought the update to the pattern, but I figured I'd just modify what I had. And yeah, so I ripped out quite a lot, maybe 3 to 4 inches. But I'm enjoying knitting it, so it really doesn't bother me. I'm enjoying the yarn, I'm enjoying the pattern, I'm enjoying the combination of the two, and yeah. Oh, there's just a lovely cool breeze right now, which is nice because it is kind of sunny. I love being in the mountains. I didn't realize how much I would, but I digress. Knitting. So this is being knit on, oh, I had put these on skinnier needles, but I'm knitting these on Addy lace, old Addy lace that make your hands stink, with the brass tips. And these are size US 6, which is a 4mm. So yeah, I need to get going again with this pattern. I have a few stitches that kind of got dropped 1 stitch down that I need to pick up as I come back and put this back on the right side, right size needles. You can see this is in the middle. I'm gonna have to modify this a bit. So no big deal. I love the way the colors are sort of striping. I hope you guys can see that. So that will go back in the bag. And while I'm in this bag, why don't I just mix it up and show you some spinning? So I've been plying. I have finished spinning the singles of a Gourmet Stash Puni that I've had for a while, and I have an ounce of this colorway. It's the Guinness colorway, or Guinness is good for you, I think. And I am applying it on my Moosey, my Bosworth Moosey. I have spun the singles on my Spanish Peacock Russian spindle. So let's see, got a nice tight cop going here. And I'm using my Spanish Peacock oh my gosh, Spindle Kate. Words are hard today. My Spindle Kate, and it works fabulously. So this is my Bosworth Moosey, which is made out of shed moose antler. No moose were injured in the making of the spindle. It's a fabulous spindle. And yeah, I cannot wait. It's pretty thin 2-ply. I cannot wait to see how this looks in the hank. So I have a lot of other spinning that I brought with me too. I have more Gourmet Stash, I have more Hobbledehoy, and yeah, I hope that, just a word about Gourmet Stash. Kate is a friend of mine. I know that her business has been negatively impacted by her health, and her health is not good right now, and I know that that's public knowledge and I can say something about it because you know, there's been stuff on social media recently about her health and that she is in the hospital. And you know, I hope that for everyone concerned that things can be made right there, and yeah, for her as well as everyone else, and sending her healing thoughts, because she's a genius, a mad genius with the colors and the ponies and the fiber. So yeah, that's Guinness. All right, I think my next spin will probably be some Hobbledehoy, and that should be fun. Okay, so that's it for this bag. Let's just go bag by bag. My next bag is a Jan Smiley bag. My latest Jan Smiley bag, which sadly took it to Burgos yesterday and sat in a cafe for a couple hours, people watching. And it got some chocolate on there, chocolate, you know, the Spanish hot chocolate that's kind of pudding-like, and you dip churros, which are like donuts, in there. Yeah, I got some chocolate on there, so I'm gonna have to clean that up. Okay, I love this bag. Oh, I love this bag. And what is in this bag is some more Regia. These are my July socks that I'm starting in June. And yes, it is Arnie and Carlos, the Norwegian knitting celebrities. And this is colorway 03655. I can't remember if this is summer nights or fall nights, but it's some sort of season and a night. The yarn looks like this. Now I started knitting these day before yesterday. I cast on at night. What was that, Monday night? No. Is today Tuesday? Today is Wednesday. Ooh. Today might be Tuesday. Anyway, I've lost all track of time. So these have been on the needles for a little over 24 hours, suffice it to say. I did not like, I love it now. I really do. But when I was about here, I was like, what is this colorway? I hate it. I hate it. And what is going on is that off-white at the top is really like dirty dishwater to me, and I'm not a fan. But as you go along, the color repeat becomes more of a silvery gray. That's a good shot. Now I love it. I love the orange and the red. Still not a fan of this color, this off-white color up here, but it all works together now. So I am content. So many socks, so much Regia. So yeah, I think I might put this down in a bit and just use it for mindless knitting in favor of my shawl. Let's see what else I have. So that's that. I've been reading my Ply magazine. I'm almost done. It's a very good issue. It is on the fine, it's the fine issue, that's the subject matter. The back cover is always so adorable. Excuse me, I think that's a Shetland lamb. I think that's what I read. And I'm about to read the article about Warp Factor Fine, so warping your loom with very fine yarns. And now I'm going to sit on this magazine. Okay, because rocks under my butt. Okay, I've done that bag, I've done that bag. Let me show you what I bought yesterday. Okay, I went to the store in Burgos called Pom Pom. Excuse me. They have yarns, they have, I mean, it's mostly Spanish and Italian yarns. But they have some fabrics as well. And I picked up 2 meters of this beauty, which is very, very Liberty of London-ish. It's a poplin. It's not Liberty of London because I can't afford that stuff. This was not cheap either. I think I paid 16 euro per meter. I got 2. There was a little left over and she gave it to me for free. It smells really good. I love it. It's like an eggplant color, an eggplant floral. I don't know what it'll be, but it's a really nice piece of cloth. I'm excited. I'm excited to have it. So that will be a nice piece of clothing to remember the trip. And I also got this, and I might get more when we go back. No, today is Tuesday because we're going back tomorrow. This is Katia Peques Plus. Peques is like a nickname for little ones, kids. It's a baby yarn. Didn't realize it's 100% acrylic. I have a hard time buying yarn in Europe because it's kind of like behind the counter setup, and you know, you see something that strikes your fancy and you ask to see it. And there was a model of this, like a baby bonnet and booties. It was so cute. It's a gradient. 100% acrylic. I can't believe I did that, but it's a nice acrylic. Yeah, I can see the plastic shining in there. What was I thinking? I don't know. You know how it is when you get into yarn fumes kind of mode. All right, what else do I have? I have my scale for weighing things because you never know when you might need that. I brought some cross-stitching supplies because you never know when you might need that. Okay, I brought also my, what is this called? Second story tee. I'm gonna rip it out. I screwed up the first part. I'm sure you can see that. And it's not supposed to look like that. Plus, this is all the yarn I brought. Yeah. Somehow slipped my mind that, yeah, I needed to bring the rest of the yarn for that sweater. I don't know if I'll even get to it though, so if I feel like casting it back on, I'll keep the ribbing, most likely. I'm trying to find here is the picture of the tee, of the second story tee. It's an interweave knit, spring 2015. This is yarn from Deep Stash from La Droguerie in Paris that I bought at least 4 or 5 years ago. So yeah, this will get ripped back to the ribbing. I really like the fabric. I hope it's the right size. It might be a little big. Probably not. So yeah. This is the Gyan colorway. It's in some lights it's quite olivey green, but if you hold it up to the sun, it does have an emerald cast to it. So it's a really interesting color. So that is it for that bag. I don't know. I feel like cross stitching, maybe something that's, I brought this because I thought my kids might want to cross stitch if they were bored. But I might be the one. Just maybe cross stitching some like subversive sayings, you know. I've done that before. It's a lot of fun. Okay, I have one more bag here. Ha! So I feel like I'm gonna do a lot more barn raising squares. And I have this one, was just sent to me. Oh gosh, I didn't see. This is the problem with no show notes. I don't write down names, and I have so many people sending me stuff for the Summer of S. I should have talked about that, shouldn't I? Summer of S. Yay! This is Shaker Lane Woolworks. Yes. Okay, Shaker Lane Woolworks dyed this. She sent me some other ones too, but I brought this one with me to make a square. I also have this, which is this Enchanted Knoll? I think it is Enchanted Knoll. I hope it is. I made collywobbles out of this and I have a bit left over. It's super stunning, super stunning. It's the common grackle colorway. So I will do a square out of that. And then I have this self-striping that someone sent me, because I love barn raising squares out of self-striping yarn. This was in a package. I can't remember who sent it to me. Oh, this is, by the way, all in my Magnolia 13 bag. It does not have an Etsy store, but she should. This is a fabulous bag. It's really well made. I love the little strap. Okay, now, I also brought this. Can you see that? Can you see that beautifulness of this? This is Gail's art in the graffiti and asphalt colorway. And it is her BFL nylon blend, superwash. It's called Wonders Sock Yarn, graffiti and asphalt. I got this at Maryland Sheep and Wool this year. And should I do socks? More socks? I don't know. How many yards is this? 465 yards. So it's between socks and some sort of shawlette. I don't know. Is that all I have to show you? I think that might be it. I have my barn raising squares in the sun over here. So I could potentially come back with 7 or 8 barn raising squares, because I'm going to make another one out of my Arnie and Carlos yarn as well. What else do I have to tell you guys? Let me take a quick drink. There is a beehive somewhere in the rocks over there. You all probably can't hear it, but there's massive buzzing. The honey from this area is insane. There's so many wildflowers. Gigantic thistles, chamomile everywhere growing wild, roses growing wild, berries. Found a stand of wild parsley the other day, just like a flat leaf parsley. I went on a ramble by myself and had a great time. And I put some parsley in my hair, because I'm geeky like that. Broom, you know, yellow broom. What else? There's a whole ravine full of Queen Anne's lace down there. So it's so nice here. It's dry, which is such a beautiful change for me. Living in the DC area where it's 1,000,000% humidity all the time. And when you add the 1,000,000 degrees heat on top of that, you just wanna stay in the AC all day. I just want to be out here in the breeze with the swallows circling around and the pink carnations, which is, by the way, a carnation is the national flower of Spain. FYI. Well, let me talk about the Summer of S. The Summer of S has started. And while I really can't respond easily to posts, I have been looking at them. I really am working with tiny screens here and really incredibly slow internet. So if you don't hear back from me, if you sent me a PM, I've probably read it. I just haven't been able to respond. But you'll hear from me in a few weeks. And thank you guys for getting in touch with me, by the way. I have seen a couple of PMs and you know, Instagram comments. I've been flooding my Instagram with photos. I feel like they're the same photos as last year, but you know, you haven't seen them in a year, so there you go. All right, so the Summer of S is anything that starts with an S. Sewing, spinning, shawl, sock, sweater. Be creative. Really, the sky is the limit here. And it can be works in progress. It can be new cast-ons. It goes from June 15th to September 1st. I have a lot of prizes. I've put most of them up in the thread on the Ravelry group. And it's just a lot of fun. Oh, chatter is encouraged, by the way, and chatter is also eligible for prizes. Yeah, so feel free to compliment each other and ask questions of each other and just go to town. Talk, talk, talk. The more talk, the better. Let's see. What other, oh, Stash Dash update. I think I'm over 4,000 meters now. I know. I could potentially go for 10,000, maybe. And I just have to say congratulations to Anne from the Carolina Fiber Girls. I did listen to their latest podcast, and I heard that she finished her mitered square sock yarn blanket. Congratulations, Anne. That is a massive accomplishment. And yeah, of course, she racked up the Stash Dash points for that, meterage. But, you know, I have to bow down because that's an accomplishment. So I think she said she started it in 2008. So I hope I can finish mine in 7 years. That would be great. But I'm happy just working on it too, bit by bit. If it takes 10 years, as I've said before, that's cool. Did you guys hear the bell, the cowbell? The cows are in a far pasture today. Usually they're over by that rock that I think looks like an alpaca or a llama. But yeah, I hear them now. My husband is out with his students and the other teacher who is with us. They are on just a wee hike in the area. We will be doing a big hike to climb the Urbion, which is, it's about a 5-hour hike up. Yeah, but it's where the Rio Duero is it's the source of the Rio Duero. What's the English word for that? They call it the birth of a river here. It's where a river originates. There's got to be a better way to say that in English. And the Duero, it goes all the way through Spain and Portugal to the Atlantic. And in fact, you might see some Portuguese wines from the Duero Valley. But it starts here, and it's stunning. The view from the top is amazing, and then there's a lagoon, like a glacial lagoon that's cut out of the cliffs with waterfalls cascading down and crystal clear water filled with trout and little streams running everywhere. It's beautiful. So I think this is their sort of their part of their training for that hike. I think I might go on the hike this year. Just walking around this village is like, it's insane exercise every day. There are slopes everywhere. It's like living in San Francisco, but without the cars. So yeah, it's kind of compensation for all of the amazing food I've been eating and the wine I've been drinking. So I hope it's balancing itself out. Really good food. I had some amazing cheese last night and grilled vegetables and chicken cooked in a wood fire. The kitchen of the house where we has a wood burning oven. It's really good. Good stuff. Can you guys hear that bumblebee? I could just stay on this hillside and chat to you for a good while. Here comes a swallow. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to tell you. It's funny, the sound here travels really insanely weirdly. That was redundant. Travels very strangely. You can hear people talking because of the echoes in the rocks. Because there are different rock formations all over the village. You got to be careful what you say and how loud you say it, because you can hear stuff. You can hear stuff very well. There's a guy who practices trumpet every day, a couple times a day, and we hear him very well. Anyway, I think that's it. Been getting lots of knitting done, a fair amount of spinning. The students are lovely. My husband is very busy. He hasn't had time to knit. I made sure his knitting was packed, but I very much doubt he'll have time to touch it. So yes, indeed. I'm going to give you guys another panorama. I'm just taking it all in right now, and I wish you all were here with me. Everybody, all the Fibertownies on the hill with me. That would be great. Yeah. So I don't know how many more sheepy or woolly opportunities I will have while I'm here, but yeah, I'm very much enjoying the time, and I'm glad I could spend some time with you all. So let me grab this camera. Hello. Sorry about the moving. And I will wish you farewell. Oh, this camera is hot. I'm gonna give you another panorama, and then I may or may not see you again while I'm in Spain. And until next time, you all take care. Stand up if you're seasick. Close your eyes a minute so I can give you a shot of the village a bit. There we go. Part of the village anyway. Try not to fall off the mountain here. Last time I recorded here I had some doggies with me. But nobody has followed me up the mountain today. There are new doggies. Some of the old doggies are not to be found. There is the Barruecos right by our house. And I really hope there's not an earthquake or anything, because yeah, that's where the rock is and that's where my room is. Okay, everybody. I'll leave you with a shot of the pinks and wish you happy travels yourself.